A large part of the reason why Shakespeare can feel so inaccessible is the way he uses language. And one of the distinctive features of his use of language is something called Iambic pentameter. Even the phrase itself sounds arcane and pretentious. Like, is that even English?
How art thou, thou globby bottle of cheap, stinking chip oil? Come and get one in the yarbles!
Well, I am delighted to inform you that Iambic pentameter is actually an extremely simple concept. All it means is that each line contains 10 syllables, and every other syllable in the line is stressed or emphasized, giving it this da-dum, da-dum, da-dum kind of rhythm. Here's an example. In Shakespeare's play Coriolanus, the title character gets himself banished from Rome, and he fires this line back at the people who banished him. You common cry of curs, whose breath I hate. You common cry of curs, whose breath I hate. All of the most important descriptive words in the line are stressed. It follows the rhythm perfectly. Simple. So, in order to speak Shakespeare correctly, you just have to speak every line in that rhythm and you're good. All right, class dismissed. You win Shakespeare. Well, not so fast. The only problem is Shakespeare didn't always follow this pattern. Sometimes he placed extremely important words in the ordinarily unstressed positions. In Act 1 of Macbeth, 3 witches tell Macbeth that he will become king, but haven't told him how or when, and they start slinking off. He says to them, "Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more." Now, if you were trying to get the 3 witches to stay, it would make absolutely no sense to say, "Stay, you imperfect speakers." No, you would say, "Stay, you imperfect speakers." Stay is the most important word in the sentence. It's begging to be emphasized. So, in order to speak the line in a way that makes sense, you're gonna have to break from the established rhythm. Okay, so then I guess we should just throw Iambic pentameter out. It's clearly useless, and it seems like Shakespeare didn't even care about it, so let's just ignore it. We probably shouldn't do that either. While Iambic pentameter does not provide exact instructions for how to speak every line of Shakespeare correctly, because there's no such thing, it does provide some useful information. When Shakespeare departs from the typical structure, that usually means something. To return to that line from Macbeth, the fact that the very first syllable is stressed suggests that there's an urgency to what Macbeth is saying. That this isn't a trivial or casual matter for him. He isn't waiting for that second syllable to get his point across. Or take the most famous line from Hamlet. To be or not to be? That is the question. There's an extra syllable there, and that's not a mistake. When a line ends in an unstressed syllable, that's called a weak ending. Instead of ending on a definitive, strong, stressed syllable, you get this timid, awkward, extra syllable at the end. A weak ending can suggest a lot about the character speaking the line. Perhaps they're feeling uncertain, unresolved, or unstable. Perhaps they're wrestling with a thought too big for a single line of verse to contain. This all suggests to me that this question isn't rhetorical for Hamlet. He's not merely philosophically musing about it. He's really asking, and he's not sure what answer he's going to come up with. To recap, Iambic pentameter is a poetic form in which each line has 10 syllables, and every other syllable is stressed. Most, but not all, of Shakespeare's lines follow this pattern. If the verse and the sense of the line are in conflict, then the actor is obliged to follow the sense. When a line breaks from the typical pattern, such as when crucial words are in normally unstressed positions, or there are extra syllables in a line, it probably means something. So look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that in order to understand a Shakespeare play, you need to comb through every line of verse like this. Frankly, if you're an actor and you only have 2 weeks to rehearse, there are probably more productive uses of your time. However, if you do have the time, or if there's a certain line that feels sort of rhythmically off, or you're working on a speech that always seems to trip you up, maybe look into it. You might find that Shakespeare left you some valuable clues.